Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about something I saw today, my thoughts on it, my opinion, basically. I saw like a house basically being surrounded by police, like guns drawn, the whole thing, like come out with your hands up type thing. And this has been happening a lot kind of in my area. Like, I don't see them a lot. I saw this one, but it kind of goes on the news. It says a police presence, and I don't know where everyone's from that's watching this or how it is there. It's going to obviously be different everywhere. And this isn't a criticism really of the police. It's more a criticism of journalism and how it's being covered. And what I mean by that is it kind of just says a police presence, and then it'll say after a while updated, police are now gone. And it doesn't give a reason of why the police were there. It doesn't give any reporting on what went on in the house. It doesn't have any interviews with the police officers. And like, I'm not sure like where you guys are from, but if the reporting is better there, if we just have really crappy reporters here and no one's really doing journalism, it's just kind of this half-assed journalism. But that's a really important job, and it matters. Like, if police are like, if there's like fucking 30 police SUVs completely surrounding a block with, like, I don't think they're M16s, but whatever rifle the police use, and shotguns and rifles and the whole thing, and they got these like borderline assault weapons out in the street, and no one can explain to me why. It's kind of troublesome. And like, it's not a critique of the police. Like, the guy could have been in the house with a grenade for all we know. Like, it could have been very well, it could have been completely necessary that they were there doing that, but we're left to guess. And that seems like such a failure of the media to me. And I know the media is under a lot of fire for all kinds of stuff, and like actual major international news outlets are under fire. There's like all the cancel culture things going on. There's, you know, the InfoWars things, Alex Jones stuff, like conspiracy theorists, and like, it's just kind of like all this kind of stuff. And then, but you can't really get like an actual investigative reporter, like an old school reporter. Like, it's such a basic question just to get an interview with one of the cops and say what it's about. Like, we don't know if the guy was in there beating his wife. We don't know if he had a meth lab. We don't know if he like kidnapped his kid. We don't know if it was an overdue library book. We don't know if the neighbors called and just had a complaint about the neighbor being loud, and then the guy just didn't want to come out to talk to the police, and they surrounded and pulled their guns. Like, these are all vastly different approaches you need to take, and it leaves our imagination to kind of think about it. The other police presence was that they did this surrounding a van or an SUV. It looked like someone was camping out in like a Walmart parking lot or something. Who knows what that was about? Like, maybe the guy had a gun in the van, but like, if he's homeless, like borderline homeless, living in the van, like, do you really need like all these like police, like basically militarized units? Like, you look at like old school, I guess I'm getting into a criticism of the police now at this point, but you look into old school like movies where like the sheriff is kind of just like this unarmed kind of guy walking around asking people how their day is. Like, he would help like with an old couple's like tire or something. Like, I don't, maybe that's just in the movies and that never was actually the case. Serve and protect, like the serve is in there too, but it kind of seemed like they were kind of like, the police were kind of giggling, and they were kind of pulling these guns out, and they were kind of laughing amongst each other jokingly, like you would do with a coworker. But it's kind of, if I knew the guy was in there like actually like smoking meth with like a Rambo Gatling gun type thing, and I wouldn't be looking at the police this way. So it's a failure on the reporters, because like I said, I have no idea what this was about. And that just seems crazy to me, that if they're pulling these guns out on my block, I want to know what it's about. So that's the point of this video. Anyways, peace.